So I mentioned earlier, one of the things I was trying to do is find little projects to um, keep myself occupied when I've got a spare hour or two or what have you. So this is one of the things I'm looking at doing just now. I've got a pedal box and brake and clutch pedal out the car, out the TR3. I'm not really in the mood to be doing any welding or grinding or heavy banging. So what I'm going to do is just disassemble this little lot and clean it up, maybe over the next night or two, and give it a nice coating of PR15. It's pretty easy to take apart these things. Yeah, it's just not difficult. It's typical Triumph, it's just a big mechanical set. So I'm going to clean that up and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so we've got the thing blown apart. It's the two pedals, I'm forgetting now, the clutch, the brake. There's the gadgets and widgets that hold it all together, as you can see. It's Triumph, so it's two bolts and a little, I don't know, bush, threaded bush thing. So yeah, I'm going to take this apart, well, clean it up, put it all back together. So it's good to go when the time comes. Okay, so having completely got that floor fixed and in and patched, which I'm happy with, I'm moving on to this front wing. What I'd like to do is get this front driver's side front, passenger side front, driver's side front, sort of buttoned down. The floor's good, the door's fixed. I'd like to get this wing fixed and on so I can really just put it away, forget about it, and then move on to the other side. So you can see this wing's pretty good on the whole. In fact, it's really good on the whole, especially considering it's what, I don't know, 60 or something, 50 something years old. There's a few little issues. There's my previous repairs on the outside there. It looks, now I've got it off, it looks like there's a little bung of filler or something in there at some point in time. It's got this black difficulties there. The black stuff that's all over it is this black under seal goo stuff you see all the time. So I think maybe some heat will be required to get rid of that. The one area I did have a bit of an issue with is down where that mudguard or whatever it is that goes under the wheel arch, over there, met this front wing. You can see the line of it going up there. That's just dirt and goop. There's no indentation or anything there. At the very bottom of that, where the wing bolts to the body itself, there was a little rusty patch that sat in there. I have removed that, obviously. You can see there's a decent little hole in there. Nothing too disastrous, but there's a decent little hole in there. So I'm just forming up a little patch just now, just to replace that. I'm going to try and butt weld this one in, just because it's on the wing. It's going to be more visible. I thought about maybe lapping it, just lapping it onto the back, but I'm going to have a lash at butt welding it and see how it goes. The metal here is pretty good, as you can see, so that should go okay. I've got a few pits, potholes, rusty marks along the bottom there. There's a lot of good metal there. So I think I've treated that with rust killer, rust converter. So I think I'll just leave that and, I don't know, see how it goes. I'll maybe poke at it a little bit more, but to be honest, I think it looks pretty good just now. I should get a few years out of that if I rust kill it and then paint over it. I'm sure there's 5 or 10 years in that. The holes that the wing actually gets bolted to the bottom of the body on are a little bit bent out of shape, as you can see there. So I'll have to do some type of repair on that, but that's easy enough. That's small beer. Okay, I'm going to go get on. I'll bring you back, and what I'll maybe do is I'll show you, I've painted up that pedal box, I've put it away for later use, so I'll maybe show you that later on, and I'll show you the back of the dashboard. It's all now white, just to sort of close out on a few things. Okay, patch is made, well, almost made. I'm going to roll this little bit up. It's got the rolled bead on the wings here, so I'm going to try and roll that around. I've got a little extra tail in here, you might be able to see, just for fixing the very, very bottom. There's just a tiny little ugly spot I cut out in there, but otherwise, patch is made. It's pretty good fit. There's a little gap there, but nothing that can't be overcome with a little bit of welding and some body filler. Everywhere else it's pretty tight, it's pretty tight, it's pretty tight. There's maybe a slight, I don't know, I can't see my finger moving behind it. Oh, it's that corner. It's a slightly fat in that corner, but you know, on the whole not too bad. So next stage will be just to tack this thing in. I'm just going to, well, obviously going to butt weld it. So I'm going to tack it in on the front and then do most of the damage on the back. just to get it held in place, and then I'll be able to attack it with the grinder, with the welder, with body filler, etc. So I thought I'd just take a couple of seconds and show the process of what I'm doing here, just tacking it in as I go. I'm about to flip this over and start in the back. I want to do, well, that top corner looks a little bit iffy. Oh, I'll fix that. I'll bring you back a little bit further on. Okay, so the repair has been done. You can see it from this side, you saw it from the other side earlier. It's now in there, it's welded down, it's still quite hot from the grinder, but it's pretty solid. Yeah, quite happy with that. No holes at all, it's all good. The other side of the wing, you can maybe see here, that's a little ripply. I don't know, maybe it's not coming out, kind of ups and downs. And it does the same thing along there, so the patch is probably going to be buried under a half decent layer of body filler anyway. I've just started to tack on a little repair section on the bottom. It's all one piece, it's all one panel formed together. So I'm going to tack that on and grind it, but since it's Thanksgiving I'm going to stop and go and see what everyone else is up to.